Shut the fuck up, Kyle!
Yes! We haven't heard that in forever. Hey, how's it going? What's up? It's DeHuff. It's another episode of DeHuff Uncensored. I hope you're having a great day. Got a lot to get to. Cannot freaking wait. Oh my goodness. Woo-hoo. My nipples are all hard. I'm sorry. Hey, real quick, make sure you hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening. And today's episode is presented to you by Sugar Fire in Westminster, as well as Jad's Mile High Smoke. And of course, Bet Online. Bet Online is your number one source for all your summer sports this season, from MLB, golf, NBA, and NHL playoff stats. All the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, players, props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Go ahead and head to betonline.ag right now. Again, betonline.ag. Go there today, or go ahead and use your mobile device to get in on all the action. It's BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey, real quick, I had such a great time last week at, what was it, Legal, off of 380 Cuivas Street down in Denver. Just a great place, award-winning clean cannabis. Had a lot of just great experiences meeting with the owners, Amy and crew. And my brain's farting right now, so I can't remember everybody's name. But if you go and follow me on, especially on X, you'll see some of the pictures. Anilo from Mile High Sports and I got into those clean suits. You know, they're like white cotton, whatever, head to toe. And we were wearing those. And what's funny is I'm not a huge guy. I'm 6 foot, okay? But Anilo is probably about 5'7". Good dude, just small. But anyway, it's funny. We're wearing the exact same size suit. So he puts on the suit, fits him just fine. I had to have people help me put it on because I'm like, oh my God, I'm just so buff. So they helped me get it on. And then when I put the head on, the hoodie on, so you know your hair doesn't get everywhere. Not like I have hair, but whatever. I put it on. It just snugged up so bad on my junk.
I was literally all balls in that outfit. It was crazy. But thanks to Legal, you made me feel good about my junk.
It was a lot of fun. You got to go check them out. Again, Legal at 380 Cuivas Street in Denver. You know what we need to do right now? Let's have some fun. Let's jump into some headlines.
Let's go! Let's go!
And now, here are the headlines.
I'm just saying it was tight. Taut. This is wild. I saw this headline on New York Post, and I have so many questions. There's a video of this woman who somehow climbed up into the overhead bin on a Southwest Airlines flight, and it looked like she was taking a nap. How the fuck did she get up there? There's a lot of things. One, I'm like, good for you. You can fit up there. They're not huge, but she can fit up there. Good for her. But then I'm like, she had to have had help. And it kind of is a testament to how strong those bins are, because apparently they can hold a body. Who knew? And somebody had to have seen that happen, right? You know what I mean? Like somebody had to have seen, oh shit, this chick is trying to get up there. Would you not tell somebody? I would be like, oh my God, get the fuck down. She doesn't listen to you. You go tell somebody. You go be a tattletale, okay? That's what you do in that situation, because you're just delaying shit. I didn't see if they kicked her off the flight or not, but I feel like you should. That's just, if that's how it starts, God knows how it's going to go and how it's going to end, because it's probably not going to be good. If you start your flight by trying to climb up into the overbin and take a nap, you're probably going to do even worse things. Am I right? Let's go ahead and judge the shit out of that. Most likely, it's not going to end well. But I'm still kind of impressed. I would have liked to have seen how they got up there. Fascinating. I also saw some clip. I don't have any more information other than the headline, But there was like on British Airways, there was two, I want to say Americans banging, like in front of everybody. No shame. Just started going to town on each other in their seats. Meanwhile, children were in the vicinity. You can't be doing that, guys. I get it. You're all horned up. Be like any normal person and just go into the restroom, okay? Either by yourself or bring a friend. Come on, people. What the hell is wrong with our society? You would think that we'd be getting better, but we're just getting worse. It's like if you see, there's, I was talking to Nate Lundy about this once. He was talking about a book, and I meant to get it, but I spaced it out. I spaced it out. He talks about the evolution of societies in this one particular book, where it goes up, you get to your pinnacle, and then you start to plummet down when you should be continuing to accelerate and to achieve more. He can say it more elegantly than I can, and the point is, we're kind of on the decline of a powerful society, and that's kind of scary. And a good tell is the fact that we got people trying to take naps in airplane overhead bins. God, I don't even know what I would do in that situation. I'm already, frustrated when I fly. Unless I'm by myself, actually, that's then I'm usually pretty chill. Unless I'm running late. But I usually don't run late. But if I'm with my family, it's stressful. The kids are, already on edge. My daughter doesn't like to fly as of late. And it can be stressful, right? As a parent. And if I'm like trying to get my kids on there, and then we're just wanting to get to our next destination, and then you see somebody trying to take a nap in the overhead bin, and it just fucks everything up. Come on. We shouldn't have to tell you to not take a nap in the overhead bin, people. We shouldn't have to. Why are we at this point in society? Now, guess what? Now there has to be a sticker. There has to be a sticker. Please, no climbing in overhead bins. Southwest Airlines has to invest in stickers now that say that because of dumb motherfuckers like this person. My God. Why do we have to make these stickers? Oh, yeah. That one Carol bitch. This is kind of cool. A 106-year-old man broke the Guinness World Record for oldest skydiver. He had the record a few years back when he was 103, but some old broad stepped in right after him and broke the record. But now he's reclaimed it. I'm guessing the old broad died. Don't know. Listen, don't be mad at me for assuming that a 103-plus-year-old person died. It's very logical to think that. Anyway, he had no competition. So he's like, hey, let's just do it. I think that's cool. If you're 106 years old, I think that would be a neat thing to do. If I'm that age, I would definitely do it. Why not? What do you got to lose? You've lived your life. And if you die, what a way to go. You're getting a nice view, seeing something, a perspective that not very many people have seen. Then all of a sudden, bam, splat. The next thing you know, somebody's scraping your guts off with a giant spatula. What a way to go. I mean, it's kind of cool. I think I started going, because I don't do very many extreme things. The biggest thing I did was when I was 18 years old, I was up in Brighton and I rode a bull it was like, I can't remember. If any of my buddies out there, like Dave or Rich, are listening by chance, how much did we pay for that? I want to say it was like $10, maybe $20 at the most. And then you sign a waiver. And these cowboys, they have their little arena, and I sat on the bull. Bull was named Baldy. I've probably consumed Baldy, if not you. Somebody has. But anyway, hopped on there. This is the most extreme thing I did. I lasted at the most At the very most, I lasted on that bowl for maybe 2 seconds. Maybe. That's stretching it. Because I literally, the cowboys tell you everything you need to do. Don't do this, don't do this, do this, do this, do this. Okay? Got it? And I'm like, no. No. I'm a moron. I don't know if you guys know that, but I'm just going to hold on tight, see what happens. And, you know, they kind of, in a sense, tie your hand on, your one hand, your other hand, your left hand, my left hand is up in the air. And they're like, okay, say whatever you want to let me know you want me to pull the chute. I'm like, okay. All right, let's go, 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 go. They pop the chute, literally pull open the gate, and the bull goes, leaps out, dips down his head, and then kicks up its butt, and I'm literally already in the air. And I'm like, whee! And I landed on my right shoulder, right side of my head, kinda. And I had a pager. That tells you what year it was. It was a long time ago. And I was still wearing my pager for some stupid reason. Still worked after that. It must have been a Nokia. And it just dug into my hip. And then I get up as quick as possible because the last thing I want to do is have that bull come after me and either kick me or just, you know, use its head as a weapon. So I just ran as fast as I could up the gate, right? It was exciting. It was a lot of fun. I can say I did it. Now that I have kids, I don't want to do it. But that being said, if I'm like 100 years old and somebody's like, hey, who wants to ride a bull? And I'll be like, I do. I did it once when I was 18 years old. The bull's name was Baldy. Yeah. Then I get on it. Then I'll be like, okay, fellas, pop the gate. Then the gate flies, you know, pops open. Next thing you know, I'm flying through the air. And that's how I die. Bull doesn't even have to come near me. I just probably turn to ashes once I hit the ground. But good for that guy. I mean, seriously, there's a lot of things that I won't do now because I have young kids. But if I'm that old, why not? What do you got to lose? What a way to go, going out doing shit like that. Or send me in a war zone. I'll just be the random guy as a decoy. I'll start shooting at the enemy. I don't fucking care. If you're 100+ years old, go out and do something fucking nuts. But in a positive way, right? Shoot some people. Bad guys, not like good people. Jesus, that took a twisted turn. Jesus, fuck. Sorry. Shouldn't have said that last part. Somebody's going to be like, oh, I didn't listen to the rest of your what you said. I don't have an attention span that long. This is wild, and I kind of like it. This is what the headline says via Reddit. My wedding was upstaged by a creepy woman who identifies as a cat. The woman, the bride and groom had their wedding outside, and it was essentially, quote unquote, ruined when an uninvited woman pretended to be a cat with a kitty mask, ears, and fake tail was crawling on her hands and knees behind the lakefront altar. I gotta be honest, weddings are boring as shit. I would be that would make it memorable. I know it's all about the bride that day. I do. But come on, one day she'll look back on this and laugh and be like, that's crazy. That was funny. Let's be honest. And I hope they become friends with that cat woman. Come on. Next thing you know, she's babysitting your kids. Then a few years from there, you're going to realize the husband's been banging the cat lady. Okay? It's a circle of life. Okay? But this is what's funny. One of the attendees said, when the bride and groom kissed, the cat gave them a little bow. Wow. I think that's hilarious. I do have audio of the individuals trying to get the attention of the cat and trying to get her to stop so the wedding could continue without a hitch.
Din din. I want chicken. I want liver. Meow mix, please deliver.
I don't know what you would do in that situation. Again, I get it. I mean, there's a lot of people that they've been dreaming about this moment their entire lives to to have the perfect wedding, and then somebody in a cat costume is behind the altar and screws it up. This is well, somebody else said this, and then towards the end, when everyone started cheering, they walked to the edge of the lake and were trying to get photos and taking pictures, of selfies with the Catwoman in the background. See, here's the thing: while the bride hates it, just about everybody in attendance loved it, and they're talking about the wedding the next day. They'll be talking about it for a fucking month. And then every now and then it's going to pop up and they're just going to have a smile on their face, remembering that wedding. I know it sucks, but that's awesome. That's awesome. It would have been hilarious though if the cat lady just like sticks her leg up and starts like licking herself. The groom's like, hold on. You got to see this. Holy shit. Even the priest or minister is just like, huh, she's quite flexible, that cat lady. Oh my God. I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed if it happened to like in my wedding or if it was my daughter or son's wedding. But again, weddings are boring. This would be entertaining. And it's free. It's free entertainment. That's so awesome. Speaking of awesome, I went to this place over the weekend. I went there on Friday. Oh my God, it was so good. Sugar Fire in Westminster, amazing place to grab some barbecue. They're off 144th and Orchard Parkway, right next to Snooze. I was talking to Mike when I was over at Legal, and Mike, a big-time listener, was just like, hey, maybe I'll see you over at Sugar Fire one of these days. Hey, dude, I was there on Friday, and I crushed. I asked if they could make me their black and blue burger. I did a video and posted it on Facebook, I believe. You got to check it out. Oh my God, it was so good. It's again, everything that I eat over at Sugar Fire is like eyes roll in the back of my head, delicious. It's so freaking good. And what's great is it's graduation season. So what better way to cater your graduation than with Sugar Fire in Westminster? Let them handle it, and everybody's going to be just so taken back with the deliciousness that is Sugar Fire in Westminster. And they're going to be like, wow, what a great way to celebrate your graduate. Then with Sugar Fire in Westminster, they knock it out of the park with their smoked brisket, smoked turkey. I got a smoked turkey sandwich and brought that home for my wife. She just devoured it. It was awesome. But they have so many great things, whether it's ribs, etc. You got to go check them out. They also have their famous sauces: St. Louis Sweet, Texas Hot, Coffee, Carolina Mustard, and of course, White Barbecue. It's by far my favorite place to get some barbecue in the state of Colorado. People say this all the time. Colorado doesn't have great barbecue. Unless you go to Sugar Fire in Westminster, that place is legit barbecue. You got to check them out. It's family friendly, perfect for date night. And of course, they do catering, and you're going to love it if you do it, whether it's a graduation party, a wedding, a birthday, or a big meeting at work. Either way, Sugar Fire in Westminster is going to handle the catering for you. Follow them on social media, especially Facebook and Instagram at Sugar Fire Westy. You can go check them out in person, 144th and Orchard Parkway in Westminster, just east of Huron, or go to the website sugarfiresmokehouse.com. It's Sugar Fire in Westminster, reinventing barbecue every single day. I just realized whenever I talk about Sugar Fire, my mouth salivates, and I was wondering why I had all these like dots on my computer screen. That's spit. It's spit. Another thing to get the juices flowing, Jad's Mile High Smoke. It's the only licensed cannabis bar in the state of Colorado. It works like an alcohol bar, but it's for cannabis, which is really freaking cool. You can go there and purchase up to an ounce of flower or 8 grams of concentrate, or, they also have pre-rolls and edibles, and they provide everything you need to consume it with, which is awesome. So you could smoke it there, partake there, and then take the rest home. It's awesome. They also have 7 big screen TVs, so you can catch your favorite sporting event, Nuggets, Avs, or you can host a watch party, or you know what? They got plenty of things to entertain you, whether it's renting out a Nintendo Switch, tons of free board games, playing cards, coloring books, dominoes, all that cool stuff. Plus, they have a quarter arcade with pinball machines, vintage Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and more. It's such a great place. When you go in there, you're going to just see what I'm talking about. It's awesome. They're open daily from noon to 10. Happy hour runs from from noon to 4:20 Monday through Friday. And coming up on Tuesdays, it's Industry Day, and anyone with an MED employee badge gets 15% off all day. How cool! Jad's Mile High Smoke is just 9 minutes from Coors Field. Like I said, it's open noon to 10. You got to be 21 or older to consume. No outside product. Just buy it there at Jad's. Jad's is at 7667 Washington Street. Just go ahead and GPS to Jad's. I saw this and I was like, you guys have to hear about this. This is wild to think about. And especially if you just went to Jad's and got some product and you're sitting here listening to this, you're going to be like, wait, what the fuck? There are roughly 7 people in the world as of right now who look exactly like you, and there is a 9% chance you will run into one of them in your lifetime. That's crazy to think about. I don't even know how I'd feel about that. What if they're an asshole? It's like, oh, wow, that guy looks just like me. Or that lady looks just like, hopefully there's not a lady out there that looks just like me. Because, although, um, it would be weird. It would be weird to just run into them. And then they're like a prick. Oh my God, that would suck. Or, hopefully they'd be nice and they'd appreciate it. You see that a lot. I've seen those stories on social media. Like, I ran into this guy. They look identical. I know there's a famous baseball player and some random guy. They look identical. They did a DNA test just to see. No, they're not related. Not even close. They just look identical. And I can't remember who that is. But it's true that can happen. I don't even know what I would say to somebody that looked like me. Like, hello, handsome. They're like, fuck you. I'm from Ireland. You can't talk to me that way. I'll give you a nice punching right in the puss. You're going to punch me in the puss? That's disgusting. I have a penis, sir. What the fuck are you talking about? I think that's wild. Wild to think about. I do look like, especially when I have a goatee. When I have a goatee, I exactly like Edward Norton from American History X. Not the body, like he was like ripped in that. I'm clearly not that. But I look identical to the point. There was a time when that movie first came out. I was at Target with my wife, and these people were looking at the DVD or Blu-ray rack, whatever it was, and they see that cover, and it's just his face. And they kept looking at me and looking at the DVD, looking at me, looking at the DVD. And I'm like, what are they doing? I had no idea what they're doing. Then they're like shaking their heads like, what the heck was that? And then they walk away, and then I look, and I'm like, oh, it's that. Because my wife had said that I looked like them, and sure enough, it's pretty fucking identical. It's weird. But that being said, I don't look like Edward Norton now when he has long hair or whatever. It's just that moment, that particular look, we look pretty dang similar. Is there somebody you look like? I know, like, a lot of people are like, I look like Brad Pitt, or I look like Selma Hayek. there's got to be somebody you think you look like. And I think that's who was it? Like my wife. Oh, who was it? Was it Kate Beckinsale? No, there's somebody that my wife looks like, and is really hot. So kudos to my wife. But it is interesting to think about if one day you're walking around and you run into each other. Now, that being said, I was watching that documentary about those triplets in the uh, eastern part of the United States that I want to say back in the 60s, the mom placed them for adoption, and basically the state stepped in and helped conduct an experiment where they put them in three different, it was triplets, they put them in three different um, financial brackets, essentially. Somebody that wasn't well off, then middle class, and then upper class. And they would conduct studies on these kids as they grew older. The adoptive parents were oblivious to what was going on. They thought they just adopted them, but these people were like, they kept, calling the families and be like, "Hey, we'd like to come in and, just run some surveys, see how the kids are doing. We're just trying to see how their progress is." But they didn't realize what they were doing is they were doing a big study. And then one day these kids one kid goes to college and they're like, "Hey, I didn't think you were coming back, blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "I have no idea who these people are." Long and short of it, uh, his identical twin, who he had never met, went to that college, and bada bing, bada boom, fast forward, they end up being together, and they end up becoming great friends. They achieved a lot of fame, went on a lot of talk shows, just wild, wild. But it's fucked up because what they did to the kids. There was a lot of abandonment issues too, and just a whole bunch of just craziness, just classic, government fucking with shit. But anyway, so that's a fascinating thing to think about. That if one day you ran into your twin, is it if I'm not gonna say it. I was gonna say something gross. He looked just like me. That's so gross. Um, there's a study that says if you appreciate dark humor, you are likely to be on a higher intelligence and more emotionally stable than those who don't. I could see that because, especially with the emotionally stable part, because I think a lot of people that are more willing to laugh at the hard stuff and are more willing to just laugh at just about anything, that you tend to have a little bit more, that you're just not down in the dumps as much. Whereas some people that are afraid to laugh at things, that they're tough to be around, and they're just kind of just a drag. So I get that. I wouldn't say what I do on this show is dark humor, but it's close, but not considered dark humor. So, but that being said, if you listen to this, you're probably fucked up in the head. I'm just saying, but that's a good thing. It's a good thing. Speaking of a good thing, let's jump into the mailbag.
Mailbag. You've got mail.
All right, got a bunch of these. Let's rifle through them. David says, "Has your opinion changed on who is most likely to win the respective series after this past weekend?" He's talking about the Avalanche and Nuggets. Nuggets have tied up the series with the Minnesota Timberwolves, whereas the Avs they lost another one. What are they down 2-1? I would say. Wait, what is the Avs series? Either way, looking at it, yeah, it has changed, and I'm fine with that. And I like to be wrong when it comes to stuff like that. And I hate when I listen to talk show hosts that refuse to admit when they're wrong. At the end of the day, I'm a fan, and I want to see the teams do well. I want to see the Nuggets repeat. That would be great. I would like to see the Avs dig deep because tonight they play at Pepsi Center. I would like to see them. I say Pepsi Center, excuse me, Ball Arena, the Sack. I want to see them fight back and take down the Stars. And yeah, it does seem like my, and I guess that's what happens when you're a fan. Is it you go back and forth. I'm honest with myself, and like I've said before, I'm not a hardcore fan. So I like the position I'm in where I have the ability to look at it a little bit further back and go, okay, they're not playing well. If they keep at it like this, uh, they're not going to win shit. The Nuggets came back after going down 0-2 to Minnesota after playing 2 games in Denver. Go to Minnesota and just fucking lay the hammer down and evened up the series. Now tomorrow they're going to be back in Denver. And the momentum is in favor of the Nuggets. They're leaning back on what got them to the championship last season. They're 10 wins away from winning another championship. They can do it. They know how. They got kicked in the teeth by Minnesota for 2 games. There's nothing wrong with that. If they learn from those mistakes. If they are humbled by it and go, "Oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Why'd we do that?" We can't let that happen again, guys. We got to find that higher gear. That's fine. Learn from your mistakes. So, David, yeah, my opinion has changed. And as long as the Nuggets keep playing the way they're playing, there's no stopping them. But that being said, it's sports, and who fucking knows? But yeah, I'm back. I'm back in the Nuggets camp. Okay. But that being said, if you listen to my rant that I posted everywhere when the Nuggets were down 0-2, I said you need to go in there and remind them that you're the Denver fucking Nuggets. And they weren't done. And that's what they did. I like to take credit for the Nuggets' success. I envisioned that somebody was just like, guys, gather around this little phone. We're going to watch this video that DeHuff posted, and it's talking to you. You know, you go out there and play Nuggets basketball, and that's what they're doing, and they're dominating. So, yes, David, my opinion has changed. The damn grill said, when you're tying your shoelaces, do you start with the right or left shoelace over the top? Okay, I'm trying to remember. So over the top, I go, hold on. I guess the left is the one that goes over the top because they're having kids, I tied shoes 2 different ways. I'm trying to remember. I think the left goes over the top is what it is. I don't know. I say I'll tie my shoe and think of this, guys, but ultimately I'm not going to follow up. Not going to follow up. But now you're going to be thinking about it, everybody that's listening. Kevin said, if at first you don't succeed, then skydiving is not for you, which is funny, Kevin, that you wrote that. And then we did that earlier comment or earlier story about skydiving. Yeah. Yeah. If you suck at skydiving, do you really get a second chance? No, you don't. Veranos Blue, trademark, is Popeyes just so much better than Chick-fil-A? Here's what's Chick-fil-A is pretty fucking good, but they're anti-gay, so I don't like that. You know, they're like upper management, the owners and stuff. So I have a problem with that. It's like, why you guys got to be a bunch of dicks about it? Who gives a shit what people do with their penises and vaginas? I don't care. Are they a good person? Yes. Do you guys make good chicken sandwiches? Yeah, you do. Okay? Let's just all get along, okay? That being said, Popeyes is pretty fucking good. I would like to do, I just don't have the temperament to do this, but it would be neat in a sense to sit down and have a Popeye's chicken sandwich and a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, and then just taste them both and see which one I really appreciate more. I'm leaning towards Popeyes. It's pretty freaking good. John wrote in, are the Rockies going undefeated the rest of the year, or will they just lose a couple of more games? The Rockies finally won a series. Congratulations to them. Yeah, you did it. John, I'm going to go on a limb and say they're not going to go undefeated the rest of the way. It would be nice if they could. Yeah, just don't see it. They could have the worst record ever. They could. Man, but good for them for getting at least a series win. Kevin wrote, do birds that live at the airport have low self-esteem? Stephen Wright is fantastic. Okay. Yeah, you have low self-esteem if you fly at the airport because you're seeing all these giant birds and you're just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And then the next thing you know, they're flying into an engine. Fucking shit up, man. Fucking shit up. Let's see. This comes in from Keg. He said, he just posted an article and he said, the 10 most dangerous states in America. Number 3, Colorado. And I looked up the article. This was posted like 4 days ago. Violent crime rate in Colorado is 492 per 100,000 people. Property crime rate, 3,148 per 100,000 people. That's not surprising. It's not surprising. We got a lot of unhomed people is what the new term is. Instead of saying homeless people, you got a lot of that, and that's moving in all directions. We see it up here in Thornton. When I first moved here, you would never see a homeless person. Now you see it quite often, and it's right around the residential area too, and that's crazy. And a lot of times, the hard truth is a lot of times when that occurs, that what follows with that is crime. And then also you got all these, the Denver mayor for some fucking reason was just like, let's get a bunch of refugees in here. They don't have anywhere to go. So that kind of fucks shit up. So there's a lot. It's a big chaotic mess in Colorado. I wouldn't be surprised if next year that Colorado goes up to number 2, and that sucks because I love Colorado. Colorado is a beautiful place, and hopefully one day these stats change for the better. But as of right now, with the formula that's being used, as in what the ingredients are, it's a recipe for disaster, and it's not fun. There's a lot of great people in the state of Colorado, and there's a lot of great people that are unhoused, and they just need different opportunities for one reason or another. But the problem is Colorado has a major issue, especially in the Denver area. And it needs to be fixed. It needs to be corrected. I don't know how you fix it, but Colorado has a problem, and it starts with Denver. That's the nucleus of the problem, and it's just spilling out slowly to the surrounding cities and suburbs, and that's it's a hard pill to swallow, guys. But look at the truth. Don't try to be PC about anything. Just look at the fucking truth. The writing's on the wall. What's causing the problems? It's stuff like that. There's a lot of people using drugs and shit like that. It's a problem. It's a problem that needs to be fixed. And it's not a let's try to pussyfoot around this. Let's try to have I hate to say this, but it's like don't have a woke response to this, because that's not fucking helping. I'm not one side or the other of the political side of this, but obviously the woke culture is kind of fucking shit up. Okay? Some of the stuff that you say is fine. I get it. Like, don't be a dick to everybody. Okay? Give people an opportunity. But don't be sitting there and just be like, well, it'd be wrong of us to not accept 100,000 people. Where are you going to put them, dickhead? Anyway. Speaking of Denver, I saw this on KDVR, Fox 31 in Denver. There's a big problem in Denver with unlicensed food vendors. And it kind of makes sense because I've seen this like when I've, covered Rockies games and stuff like that, or Bronco games, and you see some vendors, you know, in the surrounding areas, and you're like, and me as somebody that used to work in the food industry, I know enough where I can look at something and be like, they don't have proper refrigeration, and those meats and cheeses and whatever else, they're going to go bad before, and it's not going to be like bad where you're like going to see it visually, be like, oh, there's mold on this or whatever. You as the customer aren't going to realize it until the next day or later in the evening when you start shitting your brains out or puking your guts out. And that's pretty disgusting. And also one thing that they're cracking down on is not just improper refrigeration, but it's lack of sanitary practices. There's people that just, God knows where their hands have been and how often they're actually cleaning them. Most likely they're not cleaning them very well. And that's disturbing. Something that you guys out there, as you're going to an event, whether it's a concert or you're just strolling downtown or going to a sporting event, you need to keep your eyes open, whether you live in Denver or you live in another city. Doesn't have to be Colorado. Wherever, I got a lot of people that listen in Texas, in North Carolina, South Carolina, North Dakota, a lot of places. If you go to an event, just make sure, basically I'll say this: when in doubt, don't eat it. Don't eat it. Okay? Just go with your gut, because your gut's going, I don't want to be throwing up. I don't want to be shitting my brains out. No. It's pretty gross. Yeah, because there was like a video of an undercover police officer getting this hot dog vendor. And I know it sounds silly, but here's the thing. If he's slinging bad meat and you eat that, and especially if a kid eats that, sometimes food poisoning can be extremely dangerous. At the very least, you're going to have horrible diarrhea and potentially throwing up. Do you want to go through that? No. Do you want to see your kids go through that? Heck no. So it's just keeping the public safe. I know some people will be like, oh, what's the big deal? You're such a boomer. No, first of all, no, I'm not. And two, as somebody that worked in the food industry, understand that there's some severe consequences of poorly handled food. And especially if somebody goes and takes a dump and doesn't wash their hands properly, and then they come back and start handling your food, guess what? That shit's going in your mouth, literally. So enjoy that feces, dog. Come on, people. So gross. Hey, big thanks to everybody that interacted with the show today. If you want to be like those guys, just go ahead and send me a message at DeHuff Podcast on social media. I love hearing from you guys. If you want to make it a little bit more personal, slide into my DMs or hit me up on my email, dehuffpodcast@gmail.com. You guys are amazing. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for supporting the show. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you could, as I say thanks to my sponsors, please, if you could give them a look over, like Sugar Fire in Westminster. If you're looking to get some catering done for this graduation season or wedding, if you have a cat lady in the background, hey, what better way to celebrate that? Get the cat over there with some meat from Sugar Fire. Also, big thanks to Jad's Mile High Smoke. Oh, that place is great. 7667 Washington Street. And also a big thanks to betonline.ag. Again, betonline.ag. Thank you guys so much. You have an amazing day. Let's continue to move forward. I'll talk to you next time.